All right, what's going on, guys? This is Nathan Epler. My height is 5'9". I weigh right now about 230 pounds. We just started my off season from the USA Championships, my win as a heavyweight. And yeah, we just killed a chest and tricep workout. Yeah, USA's was a fantastic experience. I obviously won the heavyweight class. It was, in my eyes, a very stacked competition. We had 21 guys in the heavyweight class. Great competition, and overall it was my best look of the year for sure, and actually just the best look that I've ever had. I weighed about 212, between 212 and 214 on stage, and yeah, like I said, we're just really happy with the the package that we brought. Obviously, we really brought it and had a good running at the overall. Didn't quite get the overall, but that's all right. Zach Merkel was a very deserving champion. But we got our pro card, won the heavyweight class, and ultimately we were just happy with the size, shape, and symmetry that we brought. So.
Go ahead and take us through your workout today, bud. The movements and what you like about those movements.
Yeah, the workout today, we did chest and tricep workout. We're still kind of getting in the swing of things, with the off season and coming off the show, but training is getting very good now. We're really starting to hit full stride. Today we started out with just dumbbell flat bench. Did a couple warm-up sets. Typically that's how I like to go through my workouts, is we'll do 1 to 2 sets building up, and then we go 2 to 3 sets all out. Extremely heavy to failure, which you guys saw today. Then we moved into some incline Smith machine. I really like doing that just because it's very controlled. It's good on my joints, stability-wise. So again, we did 1 warm-up set, and then we did 3 heavy sets there. Moving on, we did kind of a decline press. It was a hammer strength chest press machine, and I actually did isometric holds. So I did holding one arm and repping the other. We did 3 sets there, building up pretty much all out to failure on the last set or 2. That was fantastic. And then we finished up with just standard cable flies. It's one of my all-time favorites. Just taking those heavy again to failure, and then we moved into some triceps. Just did some rope tricep extensions, and then moved into dips. So pretty standard workout. For me, it wasn't really more than about 60 or 75 minutes, and just kept the intensity really high.
We were talking off camera about that. You're a big believer in get in, get the work, and then get out, right? You're not like a long, drawn-out workout.
Yeah. So typically, and I really started doing this within the last year, was I used to train for 2.5 hours, and that was really getting drawn out. And my coach and I had spoken during prep this year, and he actually had told me to reduce my volume, and that I was getting a little bit strung out. And so we really started honing in on the training intensity and really reducing overall volume and just pushing more straight, hard sets, heavy as we could go to failure, and then moving on. And it shortened up my workouts a lot, but it really allowed my muscles to pop more and not be so depleted looking.
Yeah, that's great. What's your diet like now compared to as you were prepping for each other?
My diet is very good right now. I'm getting a lot of, not a lot of free meals, but I'm getting several free meals a week. The carbohydrates are a lot higher, and the fats are a lot higher. I typically diet on a lot lower fat. My carbs through prep generally stayed pretty high. I was dieting for most of the prep on 400 and 500 grams of carbs a day. So very high in carbohydrates, low in fat. Protein was very high. And that's how me and Matt really like to do my diet, and I really respond well to that. There were obviously times in the last 6 to 8 weeks where we had to drop the carbs significantly, but for the most part it was pretty high through prep. But now I'm not even sure what my carbs are at right now. They're probably at 800 to 1,000 grams per day, probably somewhere around there, I would say.
Okay, how was cardio for you? But now you're someone who naturally stays a little leaner. Like, you think naturally, you do a lot of cardio or no?
No, my cardio was really pretty easy this prep. I do stay fairly lean in the off season as well. So my cardio, I never did Stairmaster. the whole prep. It was just treadmill, and it was mainly incline walking, so I was very thankful to be able to do that. But it actually worked. It was more of a benefit for me to do treadmill because it didn't flood my legs. So my legs, the separation in my quads really came through a lot more when I stayed away from Stairmaster and just did treadmill. So the cardio was anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes 50 minutes through prep. So it wasn't crazy, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah, definitely. Future plans, bud? Things you're thinking about doing?
Yeah, so this is a good time to announce my plans for next year, as I haven't really, I have some friends and family that know what we're doing, but this is a good opportunity for me to come out and say that I am doing the Indy Pro. I'm going to be doing the 212, so we are about, I would say, 9 months or so away, 9 or 10 months. I haven't calculated it all exactly, but yeah, we'll be doing the Indy Pro 212 and trying to go for a very successful pro debut and hopefully a 212 win in Indy. And the Indy Pro is obviously the show that I won the amateur portion of in 2018. So it'll be nice to come back. It's my hometown as well. So it's a show that I've already done before, and now I'm coming back as a pro to debut there. I was a wrestler for 8 years through middle school and high school, and I was very small. And right after high school, I wrestled 130 pounds my senior year, which is 2012, and I just knew I wanted to get bigger. I was sick of being small, so I just started hitting the weights hard at the end of 2011, 2012. And then as I went into college, I knew I wanted to just grow, get bigger, and potentially compete. That was still years down the road. I ended up not competing until 2015, so I knew I needed to grow. But that's kind of how it all started, was just back in high school. I started, lifting weights, training. I knew I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of family, my grandfather, some family friends that were always in the gym, and kind of grew up around weights. So it's always been something that I had an interest in, but really after wrestling is kind of when it took off for me.
Okay, you were lifting off through college and everything and just on your own?
Yeah.
Okay, not for competition at that point, though?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I just was lifting, doing my own thing, and just eating really whatever I could get my hands on and whatever I could afford at the time. But, it was all stepping stones for me. Yeah. I'll start by thanking my wife, Alexa. She's been my number one supporter. We've actually been together for 9 years, been married for 2. She's been with me since day one, so I definitely like to thank her. I'd like to thank my parents, all my family members that support me. I obviously couldn't do it without them, and without them being in the stands, cheering me on, and also cheering me on, each day. As prep got harder and harder, they were always in my corner and really rooting me on. So I'd like to thank my coach, Matt Kouba. He's the man with the plan, as I always say, and he's just never steered me wrong and has just been such a key component to my success in the industry so far. I definitely want to thank my sponsors with Blackstone Labs right now. PJ and the team, they've been wonderful to me so far. We're just at the beginning of that relationship, but it's been great so far. I'd like to thank Jed North, my clothing sponsor. Suits by Amy. Amy's been wonderful taking care of all my suits and making sure that I'm always looking great on stage. And that's about it.
So if you do coaching, bud, go ahead and tell us a little bit about that and how people do contact you.
Yeah, for sure. I actually just quit my full-time job. I'm doing coaching and personal training. Everything that involves that is now my full-time career. So, I do general health and wellness. I do contest prep. I do off-season, male and female. So if you guys are looking for assistance, please reach out to me. My Instagram is IFBB _Nathan _Epler. You guys can reach me on Facebook, Nathan Epler. You can also email me. My email address is epler.elite@gmail.com.
Well, you look amazing. It's nice to have some Midwest pros out here.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't have too many out here.
Yeah.
So, I look forward to seeing what damage you'll do next year.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and like I said, thanks for everything.